Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. It's been a while, I know. I'm sorry. Currently a beautiful day in Adelaide. I've got the red glow of the heat lamp going. It's been a bit chilly here. I just checked my Instagram and apparently it's March 14th, 2021 was the last time I drove this thing, and that was on the permit. And it pretty much went straight up on stands after that, so that's the first time it's run in 12 months. I put on my socials that it was 2 years because it feels like 2 years to me, but yeah, 12 months. Now why I've suddenly got this thing fired up, the plans that I've had for this thing for a while, I've decided now's the time to do what I want to do, so we'll get into that. I don't know if you guys can hear the birds running around on the roof up there. So out behind me, looking all sad and neglected, is the truck. That's not on hold. I've got some parts issues with that. I've got some parts come in. I ordered some parts from the States, some cab mounts. Waited a couple of months for them to come, and so I could sort that out and take the cab down to the panel beater down the southern side of town, so he can put the roof on it. The cab mount company, I'm just going to call them that, they cancelled my order because apparently they emailed me and about shipping, and I didn't reply. I haven't got any emails, but that's where we are with that. So I've got to make cab mounts. I'm not going to stuff around now. So that's the truck. I've got new airbags for the front because I'm changing all that, but I don't want to get into that thing too much on this video because that's about the Coupe. But the truck engine, bear with me. Okay, I'll apologise in advance because I want to talk for a little bit. I know that's not the best thing in the world. Okay, so you guys would be aware of Nathaniel from Fueltech Australia, who works very closely with, or has worked with, Frank from Dandy Engines for a very long time. He's helped me with my car for years, all the drag challenges. He and a few close mates are the reason why this car goes as fast as it goes. This thing's done 8.1 seconds, 175 mile an hour in full street weight, tow bar and everything, and it's pretty much down to him. Anyway, when the Godzillas came out a couple of years ago, when they first were released, I was talking to Nads and my good friend Mike from Southcott Engines, how they build this engine, and we were talking about the potential of the Godzillas and all that sort of thing. And I always said I'd love to put one in this when they become readily available. When they were available, those guys, Fueltech Australia, Nads, and Dandy Engines and Harrop, they got their hands on one, and I'll link to the videos, but you guys would have seen the videos on here of their 1300 horsepower Harrop line Godzilla. And that thing, dead stock apart from injectors, bigger injectors, no other mods with that blower made 800 and something horsepower at the flywheel. Rods, pistons, cam, injectors, a few other bits, a wider belt and a bigger throttle body that made 1300 at the flywheel. On the hub dyno before I hit the track, it made 1300 at the wheels. So his car's an animal. This thing's crazy. This has made 1400 at the wheels, but that's with turbos. That thing with the blower on the street making that much power, it's insanity. So now the plan for this setup, everything from the trans forward, I'm keeping the trans, but the bell housing, everything forward from that, throttle body, elbow, everything down to the sump, that's for sale. That's up for grabs. It's a proven combo. It's done all 4 drag challenges. I've had that block for years. It's an SVO block. It's grout filled, fine on the street. It does what it does. It's now got O-rings and copper head gaskets. It's got CHIs on it, which has had a ton of work done to them, and the manifold. It's a fairly basic setup. It's nothing exotic, but it does what it does. There are first gen 76, 75 precisions. They're not the biggest, they're not the fanciest, but they've I got them freshened up after the last drag challenge 2019. They've done pretty much nothing since, but it just works on the street and on the track. It just does what it does. It's a weapon. So I'm not after huge money for it, but what I will pay for is a blower for this Godzilla I'm pointing at the truck. So the plan is to sell that running gear or that engine turbo combo, buy a blower for this engine, put that engine and the blower in this, and then buy a second Godzilla when the truck's a little bit further along, so it's not sitting for too long, and put a cam in that and put it in the truck. So blonde Godzilla on this, naturally aspirated Godzilla in this little beast here. So that's the plan. So I've got a few bits already that are helping along with that. We'll have a look. So the Coupe's got a Reed Power Glide in it, Super Case Power Glide. Very cool trans. It's got a lot of stuff done to it. I don't really want to part with that. If someone gave me the right money, I'd get rid of that and put a Turbo 400 in it. But the 2-speed for now is staying. I was talking to Nathaniel from Fuel Tech about bell housings, that sort of thing, because he runs a turbo trans in his XA, and that night we were talking about it. This bell housing popped up on Marketplace. The young guy down in Tasmania, he bought it for a project, Godzilla, changed his plans, sold the engine, had this bell housing sitting there. So it's a Reed bell housing. It suits Godzilla Modular Coyote to all the Reed Turbo 350, Turbo 400 and Power Glide transmissions. So I went and said hello to Jace from Tough Mounts again. Always a pleasure to catch up with Jace. He's a very busy man, but he always says hello. So same setup as the, excuse the mess, sorry. Same setup as what's on the truck now. So I think they're almost 8mm thick plates for the Godzilla. So exactly the same as what's on the truck now. But I've also got some, these are the chassis plates for XA to XE Falcons and probably XE XF as well. But they're the base they put on all their conversion mounts and factory mounts, for factory style mounts for early Falcons, the Barras, the LS, everything. At the moment they don't do a Godzilla until XA, so I'm using bits of existing things. The Godzilla mounts a universal plate at the moment. Comes with a couple of brackets, the bush housings, but not the base plates. So I spoke to Jace and got these parts because it saves me a bunch of time and hassle. Thank you very much, Jace, again. Legend. So I've got the bell housing and I've got the engine mounts. The main issue with Godzilla onto this thing, it's been discussed many times all over the place, and I've discussed it. And if you go back through the truck videos, the oil pan on that thing is huge. It's a monster. No way in hell that's going in this car with the standard steering. So in regards to fitting a Godzilla into ABC and the issues associated with the oil pan, check out Benny from Jet Ski's Garage, his YouTube channel. He's a good friend, Benny. he's doing the same thing. He's putting a Godzilla into his Falcon Coupe. He's going into detail on the modifications required around steering and clearances, that sort of thing, on what he's come across. He's got the front half of a Falcon in his garage with the Godzilla engine sitting in it. So for more details on visuals on that oil pan into this car, check out his channel. Give him a follow, like, subscribe, all that sort of thing. Top guy. And I believe he's just got a video out and some fun he's had on his farm in a digger. I'm a digger guy. Go check it out. I've taken the oil pan off the truck engine, the sump. I've made a template of it, and I've taken that and a couple of other things I need made down to Andy from AdmoFab, Adelaide Motorsport Fabrications. He's going to plasma cut the flange for an oil pan, and when I've got my hands on that, I can bolt it to that engine and take the pan, the oil pump, all that sort of stuff off that engine, bolt that flange on, and sit it in this thing. This is a bit of a long, drawn out story, I know. The other issue is height. The Godzilla is a very tall engine, even without the massive oil pan. It's 21 inches from the center of the crank to the highest point. With the Harrop blower on there, it's another inch taller than that. I think it's 23 mils, give or take. I've spoken to Harrop, and they've it's on their website, but they sent me a PDF of all the dimensions. Some really good drawings on there. So Nads has managed to get on his XA, he's managed to get his blower with the help of Profab under a factory XA bonnet, which is crazy. And how they've done that is just having the engine sitting as low as possible on that factory crossmember. They made their own oil pan for it, and it's very, very slim over the crossmember, and it's got a external oil pump. That's pretty much the only option with putting a Godzilla into an ABC. Again, check out Benny's videos. He's got his engine upside down on the stand and his front gut there, so visually it's a lot easier to follow than me talking, and there's less of me talking. So the next step for me is to pull all this out, leave the trans in there, put that bell housing onto this trans, drop that engine in place, and start making up some mounts. Benny's also got the same tough mounts gear as I have, and so we're sort of at this, well, he's further along than me, but we're pretty much doing the same thing. Check his stuff out. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I've got to pull this engine, drop the Godzilla in, work out the mounts, and then I can start fabricating an oil pan. And Andy from AdmoFab is going to give me a hand with the design of that, and probably fabrication as well, because he can do cool stuff, and I just talk lots. So you guys know where I'm up to. The Silly Fast Turbo Combo is coming out. A relatively tough blow-on combo is going back in with a different kind of engine. Couple of things that push me along. Although we've got a new state-of-the-art racetrack opening here at the end of this year, I'm going to be cutting down on the racing. The car is too nice to race. I abuse it, and if something happens to it, I can't do anything. I can't replace quarter panels. I can't do that sort of thing. So as much as I love racing, it's what I've done for years with this thing. It's been my focus for a long, long time. I'm backing off on that. I still want to do drag challenge. It'll be DYO. The cage will go back in. But it's going to be mainly focused on street driving this thing. I want something I can come home from work and get in and drive, just turn the key, just go for a cruise, not take the tyres off, pull stuff off it, change it back to street mode. Even though I drove it with all the gear on it, I just want something that's a nice cruiser that I can take to coffee and cars and go out cruising on a Friday night, Saturday night, catch up with friends, because I just don't do that at the moment, and it's killing me having 2 cars sitting there in pieces. So I'm backing off on the racing, and also for engineering I had to remove that very cool large intercooler that sat in the back seat. That intercooler, that water to air intercooler, was one of the reasons this thing went as fast as it did. I couldn't get a air to air intercooler to do the job that that thing did. So with that gone, the power comes down, and I sort of didn't want the all the stuff under the bonnet, the twin turbos, all the gear and that sort of thing, but have a little bit less power. It's sort of taken a bit of the fun out of it for me, so to speak, and it's a bit heartbreaking, to be honest, but it is what it is. To get this thing legal, that's one of the things that had to come out. But that's it, sort of less power and not racing it. I've seen a video of Nads' XA on the street, and that sold me on the blower. So that's where I'm at with this twin turbo small block coming out. Godzilla going in with the blower on top shortly after. I want to get all that stuff in before I engineer it. I want to engineer it with the new setup. There's no point in engineering it as it is now and then changing it again. So again, that engine, those turbos, I would like to sell it all together. It's not going to be hugely expensive, but I want to sell that together to fund other things. I did if you look back through my videos, I did a walk around on the Coupe a couple of years ago. It's still essentially the same setup. I think I go into a lot more detail there, but it's around the 410 cubic inches, around 10:1 comp, Groutfield SVO block, 4-bolt mains, CHI heads with a lot of work done to it, stainless manifolds. It's not a bolt-in affair into a Falcon, so if you're thinking I'll buy this and just bolt it straight into another car, there is cutting the inner guards pretty much, but pretty much everything to go in a Falcon, engine mounts, everything goes with it. So if you're seriously interested in talking about that, find me on Instagram or Facebook and shoot me a message. I'm not sure about the YouTube messaging, how that works, or find a way of sending me your email or a number, and we can talk. Keeping in mind that I am in Adelaide in South Australia, so moving something like that around, I'd have to leave up to someone else. But yeah, that's it. That's the update for the Coupe. Fairly large change. I've mentioned it before. It's not a surprise, especially to anyone that follows me on my socials. So, but yeah, I'm absolutely hanging to get stuck into this. I'm hanging to get that engine out and that engine in. So again, the truck is not pushed aside. I'm waiting on stuff for that, and I've got to do floor work and stuff, and I'll leave that for the next video on that. But yeah, and again, sorry for the delay in videos. It's chaos at the moment. Yeah, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Thanks again for sticking around and watching, and hopefully the next one's not so much of me talking. And thanks again to Jace from Tough Mounts, Andy from AdmoFab. Go check out Benny's videos and give him all the support you can. And I will see you guys sometime soon. Cheers.